It's Thursday in Simpsonville, South Carolina, and maybe some of you had a little trouble finding Habakkuk as you were following along with my devotion. And usually, if I'm preaching a sermon from Habakkuk, I tell them to go to the book of Habakkuk, and then I say, if you're having any trouble finding that, then you go to Nahum, and it's right between Nahum and Zephaniah. And everybody starts looking at each other because they can't find those books either. So really the easiest way to find this little prophet is to go to Malachi or Matthew and then turn back just about a dozen pages or so, depending on the size of your Bible, and you'll be there with the minor prophet Habakkuk. By the way, one time I said in a Wednesday night service, Habakkuk, and that is also a very acceptable pronunciation, but everybody was up in arms because they said, that's not the way you say it, it's Habakkuk. And I beg to differ with them. It's Habakkuk is just as accurate a translation of the word as Habakkuk. In any case, written around 609 BC, and minor prophet, about 3 pages long is all it is. And Nahum and Zephaniah are very small books also. So, going to the last book of the Old Testament, Malachi, and turning back, or going to Matthew and turning back is probably the easiest way for most people to find it. It's the end days of Judah. The people of Judah have become hard-hearted towards sin, towards God, towards the things of God. And Habakkuk asks, how long, O God? How long do we have to watch the people with their hard-heartedness and their bad lifestyles and so on? And there's some people in America that are saying that. How long, O God? How long, O God, do we have to watch the depravity of our nation and the lack of concern for babies being slaughtered in abortion clinics, and for all of the immorality that's going on and all of the problems that we have? In any case, God answers, as I shared with you in yesterday's devotion, that God reminded Habakkuk that he would take care of it. And he more specifically says, I'll bring Babylon down as the judgment on the nation of Judah. Now, if you don't think Habakkuk was perplexed in how God was letting the nation of Judah go so far astray, he was even more perplexed about why God would take an even more wicked nation, Babylon, and bring them down to bring judgment on a nation that wasn't as bad. But the key and famous verse of Habakkuk is in chapter 2, verse 4. The righteous will live by faith. And actually, it's only part of the verse. It's the second part of verse 4 in chapter 2. And so we see in the book of Habakkuk, in just these few pages of this book, the person, the power, and the plan of God. Let me say that again: the person, the power, and the plan of God. And we see 5 woes. They're found in chapter 2. Verse 6, they're a bunch of thieves. Verse 9, they're filled with materialism. Verse 12, they're filled with violence. Verse 15, they're in a point of drinking to excess and leading others to drink. And drunkenness is a serious problem. In verse 19, idolatry is the issue. Worshiping false idols. Now, if I were to say those 5 woes in today, people cheating each other, materialism, violence, drinking and leading others to drink, and idolatry, maybe not graven images, but boats, cars, houses, all kinds of idols. It'd be kind of like today, wouldn't it? But as we take this little book and we go to Habakkuk, and we kind of put ourselves in the place of Habakkuk, being so surprised about all of the turnout of the Babylonians going to come and bring judgment, and the fact that the nation is so corrupt. After God explains all of his plan, his power, and his person, here's what this little prophet Habakkuk says. Chapter 3, verse 19. Well, let's go back up. Let's back up to verse 18. Yet I will exalt in the Lord. I will rejoice in God, my salvation. The Lord is my strength. He has made my feet like hinds' feet and makes me walk in high places. Imagine calamity's coming. Judah's turned its back on God. It's hard-hearted. Babylon, a nasty, wicked nation, is going to come down and bring judgment. Thieves, materialism, violence, drinking, and idolatry is the day. And Habakkuk says, yet I will exalt in the Lord. I will rejoice in God, the God of my salvation. The Lord is my strength. He has made my feet like hinds' feet and makes me walk on my high places. What an incredible faith. Is it any wonder then that so many of the theologians that have written about this little book have taken chapter 2, verse 4. It's just the second part of verse 4. The righteous will live by faith. We live in a wicked world, and it's only getting more and more wicked. But if we would just take the approach that Habakkuk took and see the person, the power, and the plan of God, we too could praise aloud the God of our salvation. That's your thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.